Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to week 2 of our Rev Up. How many of you were here last week? Cool. All right. Remember, the most important thing that we can do, right, with any training is not to soak up everything that you hear, because it's too much overload. It becomes overwhelming, and what happens is we forget about it, right? So the whole goal today is, if you're taking notes, and I encourage you to take notes, is to jot down something from every training that makes sense to you. And if you feel like you can include that into your business, then that's what you take away from a training, right? Or an expo or whatever it is we go to, seminars, and then you apply that one thing, right? And since we have these trainings so often, every 12 weeks, you just jump right back into a session you might have missed or something you want to implement again, and just keep doing that. This morning I asked Treasure, we're on the way to the office, and she said, hey, can I read, a piece of the book to you, and I said, yeah, absolutely, and so she starts reading a section of this book to me, and I thought, oh my gosh, we got to stop, and I'm going to have you share, if you don't mind, that little section that you read today. Reason why I want Treasure to share this section in the book, and just for those that don't know, that is a sneeze. That is a real sneeze.
There's like 15 more to come.
Yes. Yeah. I honestly feel like you're allergic to me. Jeez, you already got me in the corner, Sharon. I can't go further. So I want, if you don't mind, babe, you come up and just read this.
Okay.
And here's what I want you to think about while she's reading this, okay? Is the fact that this applies to the majority of us, right? We tend to focus on a lot of the wrong things. So if you don't mind, babe.
Okay. When you focus on your past, you're blind to your present. You are the master of your reality, and your perception is manning the control knobs. Emotion. When it comes to ramping it up to rake in the dough, any positive thoughts you're choosing to think that lack emotion are flaccid, useless, windbaggy. Affirmations like, I love money, money flows to me effortlessly, I am a badass at making money, if buried beneath the heavy sigh of as if, are a big fat waste of everyone's time. Just thinking something doesn't mean you believe it. It's only when gargantuan positive emotions are involved that thoughts are able to access their superhero powers to create new expansive beliefs, fearless actions, and as a result, exciting new realities in our bank accounts and other areas of our lives. Because we are both spiritual and physical beings, we've got a whole slew of things going on in the realm of the unseen. Thoughts, beliefs, intuition, imagination, emotions, etc. All of which affect our physical realities here on Earth. When you're in emotional pain, for example, you cry, your face gets all tight and weird looking. Maybe you sometimes even puke, you're so upset. When you're excited, your heart speeds up, your body tingles, and you run into traffic, drag a stranger out of their car, and kiss them all over their head. Our emotions are the motivating kicks in the rear that alert our bodies that it's time to take action and make a thought a physical reality. Just like the table lamp takes electricity and transforms it into light, our bodies take thoughts and turn them into results. In order for this to happen, in both cases, a switch needs to be flipped. Emotions are the switch. If you find yourself swirling in a whirlpool of suckery, it's because of this chain of reaction. You think something that triggers an emotion, then causes you to act in a way that keeps you caught in a loop of frustrating results. Let's say, for example, that your complaint of choice is, I'm broke. It's your go-to, whenever faced with the possibility of fun or growth. Want to go to the movies? I can't, I'm broke. I lost my spot. Want to go out for dinner with exciting, successful people who will inspire the crap out of you and very possibly change your life? I can't, I'm broke. Want to buy a magic pill that will make you rich and young and hilariously funny? I can't, I'm broke. Instead of rallying and accessing your imagination, your will, your I'ma figure it out because this is important to me, oh yes I am, muscle, the emotions of despair and hopelessness keep you in a state of constantly recreating your ho-hum reality. You can't see past your present situation, you've blocked your ability to imagine, you've chosen victimhood. I mean, with that sad sack thought of I'm broke looping through your head, you barely have the energy to bend down and pick up a nickel off the sidewalk, let alone leap bravely into the unknown to break free from your rut. You must make the choice to think something else and slather it with emotion. The thoughts, beliefs, and emotions we don't consciously reject, we unconsciously accept.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I normally fall asleep when she reads. I'm just kidding.
He's not kidding.
So, don't answer this, but how many of you could say that you have had, and this is only February 4th, you have had an emotional year already when it comes to business? Okay? Take family out of it for a moment, which we never do, but let's just put family aside for just a moment here and think about our business, right? How many of us have hit every single target that we've wanted to? On the flip side of that, how many of us have done every single thing we possibly can to hit that target that we've wanted to? You see, there's a direct correlation between the two. We can't get from point A to point B if there's no roadmap on how to get there. Today in Rev Up Module 2, we're going to talk about establishing your brand and developing your farm. And today I did add the little cool things on the slide, so as they go, just acknowledge that those are pretty amazing. Module 3 is next week. We're going to talk about your database being your business, and then of course creating your online presence. So our learning objectives today, 3 things I really wanted to focus on was email signatures, voicemail greetings, and branding recognition with consistency. This to me is probably going to be the game changer for many agents between moving from where you are to where you really want to be. We'll talk more about that in a moment. And then, of course, researching and choosing a farm. How many of you farm now? Okay. How many of you would like to farm? And how many of you really just don't have a passion or maybe know how to farm? Okay. Moving along. Let's go ahead and say this together. I have written goals in all the key areas of my life, and I love to track my activities and results, seeing the progress I am making. You know, like Treasure just read, just because we say it doesn't mean it actually is going to happen, right? We've got to believe what we're saying. And if you have some I am moments that you can begin to tell yourself more often than not, then you're going to start to become a powerhouse and truly believe these things. I remember Treasure and I were going through a real crazy downslope one year. Everything was, I mean, we had a ton of money ready to hit the closing table, but you know, we were on this 60-40 split, so it really didn't matter anyway what was coming in. At that point, that's how I felt about it. My attitude was down. I didn't have anything positive to say. The people around me didn't want to see my success, so I was even more down at that point. And then when everything was supposed to hit, it didn't, because they all started falling apart. And I just didn't know how to get out of that rut. And I had that same thing. Friends would call, people who could inspire the crap out of me, as the book says, and could change my life financially and spiritually and emotionally, and I could just become the best me possible. But I had such a horrible attitude, and I had that I'm broke mentality. And I truly believe that if we focus enough on one thing, we will either get it or we will become that. And so I focused on being broke, focused on having that at least broke mentality, and I focused on everything is falling apart. And so the way that I ran my business as a business owner was to the ground. And that's not a very good thing to do, especially when we're in an industry where so many people rely on us, right, to get them through their emotional state. Having an affirmation is going to be critical, and normally in this class, I have agents write their affirmations. I don't think we need to do that. I think everyone gets the spirit of it. So, establishing your brand. One thing I definitely want to focus on right now is everyone to write their OVP. Take 5 minutes and write your one value proposition. Simply answer the questions on the right to develop your how to create client attraction. This is so critical. You ever hear like elevator speech or something that truly helps make you stand out? So question 1 would be, why should a client associate themselves with me and my company? Now, if you can't answer that, then that's a really good indicator that you're not going to set yourself apart from the agent that you just followed up behind at a listing appointment. It's critical that you know the answer to that. What do I provide? What sets you apart from someone else? What do you provide? And then, of course, the last one you're going to answer when you're making your notes is, what makes me unique? And how do I set myself apart from other agents? So it'll take a few minutes to write those. Remember, it's got to be short, it's got to be simple, it's got to be sweet. It has to be powerful, your proposition.
What is some things you would say for the first one?
I'm not supposed to answer these questions. I didn't prepare for this.
I want to hear
Not on my
what I want to
slides.
hear what Josh would say.
Not on my slides. No.
That's funny.
You could just turn it around and say, what would you say?
See, I like that. I really like that. I can share
Yeah.
next week.
Come on.
All right. Everybody getting close? Anyone want to share?
I can share. Hey, well, I'm knocking on the door. It's like, hey, my name is Richard. Thank you for taking my visit. The reason why I'm here is, your neighbors selling the house. Want to see if you guys are putting it up on the market. What separates Realty One Group from other agencies is we've been dominating the Central Valley. We've been very successful selling houses from 2 to 4 months. What I provide with my listing agreement is, this, like, I just put some stuff together, like some deals, like, oh, I could do, free staging, or free moving, or something, just to kind of get them, hooked in. And then that's pretty much it. And what makes me different from other agents is work ethic, for sure. With, hypothetically, if you gave me the option to list your home, I would do this, and this.
Yes. Yes, I like where you're going with that. Very good. Who else would like to share? Maybe one bullet point? What do you provide? Who wants to take that one on? What do you provide? What do you provide to buyers? What do you provide to sellers?
Excellent service.
Excellent service.
Honesty.
Honesty.
Client satisfaction.
Client satisfaction. This weekend I saw, I want to say 17 posts that were the exact same, which is good. It's a blog that's shared. Good umbrella insurance policy information. I love that, right? Does nothing for me. Nothing. Nothing at all. Doesn't highlight my excellent customer service. Doesn't highlight honesty. Doesn't highlight anything that I truly provide. I'm just sharing information. Now, information is good, but information is also annoying. I truly believe that information can be very annoying, which is why when someone knocks on my door and they say they're selling vacuums, I'm very annoyed. When they sell ADT over and over and over, I'm annoyed. Now, it could be any knock on the door, right? Someone wanting to sell cookies just annoys me.
I like the cookie.
I do too. We just bought like 14 boxes of them, right? But get the spirit of it, right? Information just doesn't need to be thrown out there. What needs to be thrown out there is what you provide. Because what you provide is what sets you apart from other agents. If we don't really know what we provide, let's take a look at this. Number 1, List Hub. Someone explain List Hub to me. Someone explain List Hub. Babe, take a crack at it. What's List Hub?
List Hub is an application that allows our listings to be syndicated onto 750 websites.
Okay. And these are websites that aren't the normal websites. We all know Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. We know East 8 Movado. We know all of those. But what we don't know is which ones are behind all of those scenes. The ones that we can't really get access to very easily as realtors. Because these companies will go and buy those leads and then turn around and sell those to us for $350 a month.
Yeah.
$400 a month. So now what we do is we eliminate the need to go buy those leads and we park ourselves over 750 different websites in the back end. You see, now we have maximum exposure for ourselves, and that's a very important thing to do. We also offer List Hub Global. Who wants to take a crack at what List Hub Global is?
International.
International. You've now become an international marketer. You see, I'm sitting at a listing appointment, and Melissa's sitting at a listing appointment. And they say, Josh, what sets you apart from your competition? And I say, well, I'm a really good agent. I'm a go-getter. I work really hard. I don't sleep. And I want your business. What can I do to earn it? Great. Amazing. You didn't share what you could do, but I appreciate who you think you are. Sounds good. And then Melissa comes in and says, well, truth is, I'm an international marketer. We want to get your home maximum exposure possible. That's how you sell a home, is through exposure, letting every single person know that your house is for sale. You see, not only do I list it on over 750 different sites, and of course you're going to explain more of that, but you're also going to syndicate it to 60 different countries. Automatically converted to 16 different languages and 16 different currencies. You see, that's the power of now reaching 60 million people internationally, and that's what sets you apart. You see, that's something worth bragging about online. If I was thinking of selling my home today, and it's Tuesday, and Tuesday was the day that Melissa posted umbrella policy. You know, it's not the day I'm buying insurance, but thank you for the information. What I'd rather see is if I'm on the fence about selling my home, maybe I was an expired listing, maybe I had trouble selling my house in the past, I now know what I need to do, and that's to make sure I make a phone call to you. You see, we also offer New Home Source Professional. Who wants to take a stab at that?
It's an app that allows home buyers to search for new construction homes.
Perfect. It completely separates resale and new construction. And now you're saving your potential buyers from the Bay Area gas money. Don't go drive to Tracy Hills or River Islands or anywhere in Stockton or Manteca or Tahoe. Don't go anywhere and spend your gas money seeing what's available until you first visit here. Every single floor plan, every single home that's on the market, not on the market, freestanding inventory, or what's coming soon will be listed here. Prices, details, all of it. When you find the one you like, just send an email saying I'm interested. Now I call the builder, set up the appointment, move on to the next buyer. It's very simple to get into new construction, and it's a very good idea to do so. Number 4, you have your One app. I think everybody knows what the One app is. We don't really need to get into that. How many of you have that downloaded on your phone and utilize that? Okay. Practice it. Practice sending it to someone. Just randomly text the link to someone. Maybe another realtor in here. Got 50 to choose from. Just send it out and see what happens. What's something else that we offer? Share what makes you different, right? You've got Videolicious. Videolicious isn't the easiest to utilize for some agents, and it's the greatest thing since cameras for other agents, right? It's just going to be about playing around with it, getting your phone, your software, whatever it might be, to just work the best for you. If you don't like Videolicious, you move on to something else. Pamela, what was it that you were using? BombBomb, right? BombBomb. I don't even know if we can say that in public. She got really scared. BombBomb, okay? Move Easy. Move Easy. Who wants to take a crack at what Move Easy is?
That's the concierge service that helps you with ordering your movers, transferring your utilities.
Yes. So you have a buyer that gets into contract. The Move Easy concierge is going to call them within 48 hours, congratulate them on being in contract, and then tell them we've set up a personalized website for you. My name's Zabel or Karen or whoever is going to be working with them. I'm your personal contact for the rest of your transaction. I'm going to help hire movers. I'm going to schedule date nights. I'm going to schedule dinner reminders. I'm going to schedule every single thing that you possibly need on your dedicated calendar, on your dedicated website, to make sure that you have the smoothest transaction possible. You see, that's service. Same thing for listings. You got to move. Let us help you. Now we, as buyers and sellers agents, really are bragging about what makes us different versus information overload. Number 7, homekeeper. Who wants to take a crack at what homekeeper is? Okay.
Vendors?
So there's service, referral services for existing homeowners and new homeowners.
So if you're farming an area, Alex, and to your point, yes, if you're farming an area, let's say that you have a map drawn out of Stockton, and you have an area of 180 homes in this subdevelopment, and you're consistently farming that. Sometimes if that farm area has their own Facebook page, someone might post on that page, recommendations for pet groomers, go. And then they're waiting for the rest of the community to chime in and say who the best pet groomers are. You see, if you already have that on your Homekeeper app, they don't need to go anywhere else. You are the neighborhood area market specialist. You already have all of this information for them. All they have to do is just go to your app. And while they're on your app, if they ever want to check their free home value, they just click the button. It's a very powerful app. And the best part is, for people that just closed on their homes, is they need to know when to change their air filter. They need to know when to change their dryer vent. They need to know when to add a cup of ice down the garbage disposal and sharpen up the blades. This tells them step by step exactly what and when to do, and they just check it off. And you know what the average result is? 3 to 5% equity increase in your home because you have all the receipts. You saved all the receipts for your car mechanic work that was done. You saved all the receipts for the box, for the whatever, the watches you bought, the shoes you have, doesn't matter. The fact that you have saved all the receipts and you can prove it all makes your home, makes that thing you're selling worth more. That's a huge one. A lot of us, if you haven't been building your Homekeeper app, build it, or just use what's already there. Use all the vendors on there. Maybe go visit a few and say, you know what, there's 15 contractors, or 15 home, house cleaners. I wanted to personally introduce myself to you and tell you that I'm going to feature you in front of 20,000 other real estate professionals across the network. And in turn, I'd love for you just to maybe think about me if someone's ever buying or selling a home that you know. Instead, here's what I'm going to do for you for free. And now you just feature them, right? Get into a referral type business. Everyone understand it's important to share and post what makes us different? It's absolutely necessary and critical that we begin moving away from just information and more into the what. Yes?
Just real fast,
Mhm.
on the Videolicious,
Mm-hmm.
quick little tip, like at the end of our open house, Michael, every buyer that he met, he stood in front of the house with Videolicious and did a quick little, thanks for meeting you, nice meeting you, blah, 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 blah.
And then just sends the text
It
out?
sends it out on Videolicious.
That's awesome.
I've converted, but it does a lot, so please take some time to, and you turn me on to it. But you know what I mean, I usually
Yeah.
talk about that.
And you know what the great thing about it is, it just adds that music, right? Music just feeds the soul, in my opinion, in so many different ways. And when you can just add some music to saying, hey, thanks for stopping in and visiting my open house. Remember, if you have any questions, reach out to me via text, phone call. And you send that to someone in a text message, it's a lot different than just getting a text message that says, thanks for visiting. It's a real video. It's got music. Your hair's blowing. Well, not Michael's, but some people's hair is blowing, right? But great job on doing the video. I love that. All right. Moving along, okay, talking about branding ourselves, I want to help you make sure you understand to create individual branding. I don't know why it looks like that, but it says having an email signature is like handing a person a business card every time you send an email. You want it to look professional, show your company's personality. You wouldn't just hand a prospective client a scrap of blank paper with your contact information scrawled on it, would you? Email signatures are an extremely valuable tool. Here's an example of the email signature that we have. You simply just go download it, put it onto your email, And now when you're sending thousands of emails throughout your career, you're sending thousands of potential business cards. People just inquiring about something, it doesn't matter. It truly makes you look a heck of a lot better than someone that doesn't have an email signature line. Just kind regards, right? And then generic information. Set yourself apart. This is a culture that we have. Treasurer increased hers to have the right logo, obviously Realty One Group Zoom, her information. And then this is where I would add a link to your website. Hyperlink, it's real simple, it's a click of 2 buttons. And then of course you add a link to your one app as well. And then you would add a link to your social media accounts right here. This would be the most incredible way that you could possibly set up a signature line for yourself. How many of you have ever sent an email that didn't have a business card attached to it? I think all of us have, right? You never attach a business card to an email. It's a very odd thing to do. Well, now you don't have to because your signature line is branding yourself. And it should have every single link available. Someone sends me an email and says, hey, I'm interested in what my home's worth. And I reply back, and I lose contact with them for 3 months. They happen to go back onto my business card and just click on one of the links. They've got it. This is an incredible way to make yourself stand out. Oh, and for those that don't have it yet, you can simply download it right there. You just go to your Realty One Group brand guidelines, and that's where you access your email signature. So you just go to branding.realtyonegroup.com. Okay? And on the very left-hand side, you'll see this box that says affiliates at the very bottom. Click affiliates, and just type in Zoom. And now you have access to everything that you possibly need to truly make yourself stand out. Voicemail greeting. We hit on this last time. We hit on it hard. Make a powerful, passion-charged greeting in 30 seconds or less. Your voicemail is sometimes your only chance to make a first impression and can instantly set you apart from other agents. We're going to spend hours and hours building our business to get the phone to ring. Creating that capture commercial is going to be the most important thing you can do. Does your voicemail move you? Is it memorable? Is it a good representation of who you are and how you want people to think of you? How many of you have changed your voicemail to be a 30-second commercial or less? Melissa? Sharon?
Yes.
Nance? Okay. How many of you spend more than $100 a month trying to source leads to make your phone ring? How many of you spend more than $500, more than $1,000? How many of you want your phone to ring so bad that when you can't answer it, they hear, hi, I'm in a meeting. It's 11 o'clock at night, you're not in a meeting. I hear that same generic phone voicemail 1,000 times. Hi, I'm in a meeting. Hi, I'm tied up right now. I hope you're not tied up right now, but we just got to get scared of moving to something more commercialized.
My favorite is when the guy says, I'm in a meeting, but they can't stop me from texting.
I like that one. Yeah, that's a good one. When I changed my voicemail, I started getting more and more text messages. And because of my directing people to text me instead of leaving a voicemail, I'm now able to communicate with potential buyers and sellers that I normally would have lost because they want to reach someone right now. So I would leave a very engaging 30-second or less voicemail on my phone, and when you call it, it tells you that I'm in a meeting. And I'm probably in some rule that says that I can't answer my phone, but guess what? They can't stop me from texting. So send me a text message and we'll talk. And it's kind of a funny little thing. This weekend, it's on my phone, I've got 7, 8 agents that said, great voicemail. Great voicemail. Do you mind if I borrow it? I'm going to steal it. Whole way through.
So what does it say?
Well,
That's what it says.
someone call it if you want to right now. Put it on speaker.
I'll do it.
I think I put my phone on do not disturb, so it should be good. But it's real generic, and there's nothing fancy about it. It's just, I'm capturing somebody with a powerful closing message.
Hi, you reached Josh Anderson with Realty One Group. I am kind of in a meeting that has some cool against answering my phone, but they can't stop me from texting. So feel free to leave me a message.
Jimmy to text you.
Yeah.
Thank
I'll be
you.
like,
Hey
"Can
Josh,
you-"
I'm Marvin.
Right, thank you. And that's what it's designed to do. So when you're branding yourself, you want to make sure that people know you. They remember you. You want to make sure that in this real estate sport, that's a contact sport, that if they're calling you, you've got a very good call to action. What's the call to action? Remember, now is an incredibly great time to buy or sell a home. Okay? You can't just leave your voicemail that everyone hears 1,000 times over. Hi, leave a message. Leave a lengthy, detailed message. I can't wait to hear it. I'll call you back. Blah, blah, blah.
I changed my voicemail just after he told me to do this a couple months ago, and I'm getting the same response to my voicemail. It's fun, it's creative. I wasn't expecting that. Like, great, it works.
So homework assignment I'm going to have each of you to do is to create a 15 to 30 second commercial to boost your business. Let your voicemail greeting be your first impression. And of course, make sure that it's you, your personality, your flair. If you're really dry, then leave a really dry one, but make it a good dry commercial, right? They even have dandruff commercials for people with dry scalps, I think, right? So dry's for everybody, passion's for everybody. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. But if you don't have a call to action, if you don't have a commercial, you just miss everybody. Okay, make sense? All right, moving along. Consistency. Oh my gosh, consistency in your brand. How many of you have created a brand for yourself? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Who wants to share what your brand is? Someone? Lance?
So I created the Yes You Can with Lance McCann. That's my brand. Some of you might have seen it, some of you not. But that tagline is so memorable. I have people. I went to meet my son's teacher, and she's like, "Oh, I know who you are," because people, it resonates with them. You can't get it out of your head. And I have a funny little jingle too at the end of my videos as well.
Sing it.
Let's hear it.
Stand up. Let's hear
play
it. That's awesome.
I can't sing. I don't have enough earplugs for everybody. But being consistent in your logo or your brand is key, because you want people to build that recognition over time. So if you're constantly changing it, or you don't know what you want to do, you're better off with nothing until you decide what you want.
Well said. Who else wants to share what your brand is? Melissa, what do you have?
There's too many people in here.
Come on, let's hear it.
Well, which one? No, just kidding. With Coffee with Mel.
Coffee with Mel. That's powerful. Reminds me of like KTVU sitting in the morning, and I need to get some information. Where do I go, right? Coffee with Mel. How would I find Coffee with Mel? Hopefully you've got the hashtags that would allow me to just find your videos in order, through the roof. I love that. Yes, you can with Lance McCann, Coffee with Mel. Who else has something, some type of brand? What do you have?
Felicia's Corner.
Felicia's Corner. I love that. Felicia's Corner. What do you have?
Mr. Units.
Mr. Units.
Yeah.
Mr. Units. We sell units. We sell homes. We sell transactions. Mr. Units. I love that. It's really good. You see, creating that brand is going to be something that you want to do. Don't create my brand, which is Realty One Group Zoom. Do not create my brand. I can create that for myself. Treasure can create that for herself. Yes, we have the brand marketing, we have the brand materials, we have everything that does the work for us. But you also need to be able to brand yourself. What happens if you leave a company that you've been with for 15 years and you gotta rebrand what? There's nothing to rebrand, then you did something incorrect for a long time. So now it's time to begin branding yourself. You take that wherever you go. Make sense? Biggest one, and I should have put this in red, is it obvious that this person is in real estate? We live in a very fast-paced world where everyone has to go 80 miles an hour on a freeway. And the problem is, if you're not going 80 miles an hour, you're getting honked at, or you're getting passed by, maybe ran off the road. But the other reality is, when you're going 80 miles an hour, you're missing a lot of stuff. You're missing a lot of things that are going on. Sometimes it is better just to slow down. Sometimes it's better to back up a little bit, reverse, take a different exit, and maybe start changing some things that we've been doing. Speaking of change, there is something that should never change when it comes to your branding. Okay? This is very, very, very important. I'm going to ask you if you can help me find, what do you notice that's changed about the brand of Coke? Let's start in 1955. Do they have that same signature looking thing? What about now? What about here? What about here? What about here, 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 here? Have they changed that? What about their color? Have they changed their color? Have they changed the shape, design? Maybe they've added extra content here and then.
Don't they have a black one now?
They do have a black one.
Yeah.
Coke Zero.
But the other thing too is the logo or the swoosh there is consistent too as well.
I've written at the bottom that new content may be added, new information may be given. But the three things that never change are your color, your signature, and your font. Those things should never, ever change. Those truly create and develop your brand. And I'm going to show you how that comes together at the very end. Okay? Color of the can, the signature, font type, it's all extremely important. Your clients are going to most likely look you up before or after just meeting you. What will your clients see? And remember, you only get one chance, and I truly believe this, at making a good first impression, right? Sometimes that first impression, as they say, can be the last impression. Was it memorable? Big question is, if I'm looking up Sharon, she just came to my house, thinking about selling it, not sure yet, and Sharon leaves. One of the biggest platforms that most humans are on now is Facebook, right? Instagram, some type of social media platform. And if I go onto social media and I look up Sharon, what will I see? Would this be someone that I hire? You see, all too often I see a lot of real estate agents that don't have the ability to find or recreate marketing for a home that just sold. Some agents don't know how to do just pending. Some don't know how to do just listed, and that's fine, right? But through these classes, we're going to teach each other that that's not really fine. So, asking, would I hire this person? Take a look at this. It's an example of a just sold flyer posted on Facebook. What about that house is special, this marketing? I mean, it says sold, right? Photos really stretched out.
There's no branding.
There's no branding. What else?
There's no other information.
How much did it sell?
How many days was it on the market?
How much did it sell?
Where did it sell?
It's a
Just
room,
saying
not a
sold,
house.
it's
I
just
know.
not exciting, it
Not a
doesn't
house.
make me want to, you know what I mean? Like if it's a just sold and like, not cold, but cold, you know what I mean? Like something that would really catch my eye.
Sold in one day.
There you go.
Sold in one
Yeah.
day. You see, I'm a very big fan of creating what's called wow stories. Okay? Wow stories with every marketing post you put out. And I think that if we can, last week we talked about not treating our business like salespeople or realtors, but treating our business like business owners. Okay? And if we can get in that mindset for just a moment, I'm going to show you two comparisons. First one is, this is our resume. Jocelyn, how important are resumes in this?
Important, yes.
Very important. Okay.
They're important, but I'll tell you what's really important. The first third of the page is important. The rest of it doesn't matter. If you don't catch somebody's eye in the first third of the page, they won't continue reading. They won't care.
Yep. I love that. I love that. We always talk about capturing the reader's attention, right? So, this, I want you to picture, is a resume, okay? It's your time right now to make a Facebook post, okay? So what I did on the next screen was I actually made a resume, okay? And that resume is what is going on Facebook, right? even though you're not going to post a resume on Facebook, just know that the next flyer you put is your resume. Can we all understand that? Okay. So here we move on to an actual resume. This is what some people post on Facebook. And I want you to read it and tell me what you find wrong with it. Can anyone read this? Okay, so before we do that, let's go here. Is your post confusing? Are you catering to buyers or sellers, or is your message mixing buyers and sellers in together? Is it obvious that you're a realtor? And does your brand use the right colors, font, and signature line? So let's read this, okay? I'm going to see if I can zoom in on this. Is that better? Okay, what does this say? Someone read it out loud. Someone take this top portion.
Potential buyer or seller viewing this online post I made. This is my post of my flyer showing just sold. Remember, winter weather drops fast. No dogs outside.
What?
Okay.
I hear that all the time. Crazy information. Yes, you love dogs and don't leave your dogs outside because it's cold. But it doesn't belong here. Someone start reading this for me. Down to here. Who can read that? Who's got eyes like a... Yes. Layla, go.
I am so excited to announce the home has finally sold. My sellers let me sell their home. The good news is that no matter how long it takes to sell a home in this market, I will do it. In fact, even if it takes 300 days, I will do it. When you list your home with me, you get the best. I can sell anything and I am ready. Who wants to be the first in line to let me sell their home? Mortgage rates have just dropped. I have helped buyers be able to get into homes easily. In fact, we closed in 14 days with our in-house lender. Use my app to find your home. Move easy will make your move smooth.
And she's still going.
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't even read that whole
Yeah, I would have stopped.
I would have
neither.
stopped, like,
Yeah, I
after
would've.
I am so excited and I finally sold, but 300 days.
Finally.
300 days, nice.
I pulled 10 real estate agents' Facebook profiles. 10. None from Realty One Group, and I won't say names or share where I pulled from. But I pulled 10 because I wanted to see what agents were doing. Was the message that you're posting clear? If we're catering apples to apples and oranges to oranges, and the apples are buyers, did I just keep apples and apples message? Or did I start adding in different things here and there?
It was all over the place.
Now don't get me wrong. Hashtag global warming's great. Hashtag days of our lives. Hashtag live your best life. Hashtag family first. $1 million agent. Don't fight fate. I mean, these are great hashtags.
Tesla.
But if they don't tell a potential client that you're a realtor, what are we doing wrong? What's going wrong with these posts? So let's look down, and it says here, do you happen to see my profile? Here's who you get with me as your realtor. This is why I'm the best. An avid snowboarding champ, a hustler, grind hard, a soccer coach, bowling champion on Mondays, dance instructor, photographer, stager, mechanic, avid baker of pies and cookies, a Muay Thai instructor, karate master, and heavy focus on your credit score. And if you read this far, I'm also a realtor.
Oh my goodness.
These are so real. It was so consistent across these outside agency real estate agents. I couldn't believe how consistent it was. And so when I went back to my original slide and I thought, if I just met you and you left my home and I went to view your profile, what would I find? Someone that sells real estate and has the time for me? Or someone who does a billion things and has a little bit of time for everything? You see, I don't want a little bit of you. If I'm a seller and you're asking me to pay you 6% of a home that's worth $500,000, for those that are savvy at math, that's $30,000. You're asking me to take from my family to pay your family. And I'm going to get a little bit of your time.
Yeah, but how does she have, well, I don't know if it's he or she, but, how did they have time for all that? Like,
So let's answer that here.
clean my house.
I'm glad you said that. So please hire me to market your home. I won't confuse anyone as to what I do. As you can see, I do it all. And if you're confused about how I have so much time to do it all, It's easy, I just do.
Uh,
I'm number one at everything, even real estate. Don't believe me? Scroll through my Facebook page and eventually you will somehow land on something that says I sell homes. It's down there, but it's there. I'm just too busy doing so much other stuff, but I am your guy or gal, let's do it. I took all of these things and I started adding them into one. And I created what most agents, the top 10 agents if you will, have compiled as one great resume. You see, if I went through all of yours in this front row, would I be able to make an incredible resume? Would it be confusing? Maybe not, maybe. That's why I didn't pull anyone's from ROG. Okay? I pulled all outside because I just wanted to see what's going on outside right now. Contact phone number. I haven't branded it yet. Don't call. Now that is for us, right? I haven't branded my phone. Don't call. That should be the reality. Website. I don't ever tell anyone to go to it, so why start now on this post? How many posts do you direct people to your website? We pay a lot of money for our websites, right? Thousands and thousands of dollars. No, we don't. You get them free. But that being said, why don't we send people to them? It's a great way to direct someone. If you're hungry and you want to buy groceries, go to the grocery store. Stop telling information about global warming. Let's direct people to go where you can buy a home. Let's direct people to what I can do for you through what I have. That's powerful. That's a powerful post.
It seems so easy to get lost in all that you're just like, no, I'm good, I'll find somebody who's to the point, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't worry about snowboarding.
I have
You know what I mean?
Well said.
It's just easy to get lost in all the mumbo jumbo, get to the facts. Straight to the point.
For example, on my resume, my first name is in red, Jocelyn. Then the rest. Then I have, talent leader, talent acquisition, human resources, project management in red, and then and then I have a little summary. So when I walk into interviews, they go, "Oh yeah, I know you, Jocelyn. You're the one who had the red name, the red name, the red skills. So tell me about that, And then they want to ask me about those 4 things that I had on the top. So, it is important to just, it's only my name and these 4 specialties that I have on my resume that they want to talk about.
I love that.
So it's important to just go with what you, I guess, to less is more. You don't have to do it all. You just have to be a specialist at something.
Right. I agree. Someone else had something I saw? No? If I'm a comedian, right? Stand-up comedy, it's my thing, and I'm on stage, but I chose to go into ventriloquism, okay? And I had a ventriloquist. That was my main act. If I'm stand-up comedy, and I'm on stage, without my ventriloquist, I'm gonna fail. Because people showed up to see me perform that act. But I don't have it. Instead, I brought orange juice for everyone. And after the orange juice, I have cookies. I'm doing everything but real estate. You see, I don't want any of you to get into the habit of forgetting why you're in this business. You're in this business to help change people's lives, first and foremost. You're heavily rewarded for it, for changing people's lives, and rightfully so. If you're looking for buyers and sellers, but they can't find you, and they don't know you're a realtor, or maybe you're advertised as a part-time realtor, then we have a problem. We, collectively, in this industry, have a problem. Now, I don't think everything should be 100% real estate post-related, right? Because we need to have that family and work-life balance. But I also don't think that everything should be personal post. Because then no one knows what we do. If no one knows what we do, then who cares what we do? We'll find ourselves back at square one wondering, why don't I have business? Well, because you only post personal. No one can find you. Great family, though. Beautiful family. I'm going to go find someone that posts real estate so I can have them help me. It's got to be that balance. And you, as the CEOs of your own companies, you have to find that balance. But you have to be able to do the bare basics in branding yourself. Okay. Brand guidelines. You simply go to branding.realty1group.com. As we said earlier, you would click affiliate assets, type in Zoom. You have social media posts, you have designs, you have elements, you have recruiting campaigns, you have holiday stuff, you have your typography. Your typography is all your fonts. Your fonts. Freeland, Museo fonts. There's so many fonts that are designed for us that stand out and make us look truly incredible. Utilize them. Your colors. You've got the most incredible gold color in this company. Start utilizing that. That's powerful. You see a lot of teams, football team, if I said black and silver, what would you think? Raiders. Right? It's the only one I want to talk about right now because the Niners just lost and I'm so sad. So the Raiders, right? We know them by their colors. They've branded themselves. Most teams have for years and for decades. So, is your brand branding yourself? Are your colors branding yourself? Are your fonts branding yourself? Anyways, have you looked yourself up recently? Highly recommend you do it. And begin the cleanup process. Or begin the organize process. Organize your posts. Organize yourself. Maybe if you have a million things that you like to do, put 999,999 on top. And then let the rest kind of go on the bottom. Make sure you stand out for what makes your family money first and foremost. Make sure you stand out for an entire community to look at you to find out how you can help them. Don't bury yourself. You bury yourself, you bury your paycheck. You bury your paycheck, you're back in corporate world working for someone else to get rich off of you. Get rich off yourself. Make your clients rich off you. All right? Developing your farm. I'm going to scoot through this one pretty quickly. I'm going to tell you the idea of a farm for those that don't farm. It's to choose a specific area and specialize on it. Nurture the farm, and over time, you become the top of mind real estate specialist for that particular farm. As in an agricultural farm, you would plant the seed, fertilize, water, nurture until it grows. Eventually, it'll produce crops. In this case, buyers or sellers. The advantage here is that you can actually choose the crops, clients you want. That's it. That's how you farm in real life. That's how you farm in a small area. You become the top of mind specialist. It's that simple. Types of farms. Geographic, demographic, psychographic. I think I've done all three of them. I know a lot of people do demographic. I know some people do geos. And I know a lot of people attempt to do the psychographic, but it's hard to do. It doesn't pan out. An idea of that would be Treasure and I. We had a farm area in Mountain House. And what did we do in our farm area? We decided to start a wine club because we knew there were wine drinkers, right? Psychographic. So that's what we did. Another psychographic would be what? Dogs. Dog club, right? Mom's club, runner's club, golf cart club, right? There's so many different ones you can do. Demographics, based on a specific client type. Say I'm farming in Brentwood. What do I know about Brentwood? I know Brentwood is full of law enforcement. So maybe I'd start talking about Homes for Heroes or Hometown Heroes or create something, a way to give back to heroes. Firefighters, right? Let's say that geographic. I wanted to just pick a subdivision, an area maybe I live close by, maybe an area I live in. Find 100 homes and create me to be top of mind, create you to be top of mind to those 100 homes. And if 100 homes, out of 100 homes, 10 of them decide to sell next year, they're going to think of you. And because they thought of you, you'll probably wind up getting 80% of that. That's quite a bit of money to make in 1 year off of just geographically farming. Something that meant a lot to you. Or someone that means a lot to you. Getting out of your own backyard, going to another city. Or maybe picking something that really, truly connects you. Okay? Researching and choosing your farm. It's real simple. One of the things I love is that title companies give farming apps. So you can get a farming app from Title. Simply call Title and just say, hey, I wanted to get a farming app. What do you have? They'll tell you to download it. Helps you walk know where you walk, know where you left off. Really cool technology. Reach out to your title company and ask them about that. Greatest research you can ever do is to find an area that you want to farm and see what homes are active and what homes have sold in the past 0 to 6 months. Bottom line is you want to farm an area that's going to give you an ROI. So in this next example, I thought, well, Mountain House. I know this street called Cancion, and I want to sell homes on Cancion area, right? That's what I'm going to do. I have a passion about it. I know like 19 neighbors over there. It's going to be great. In fact, I know that entire 100 homes of people that live there. I really don't, but I'm just saying. That's my passion. I'm going to go farm it. So I go out and I start farming it. And nothing happens. And nothing happens. And nothing happens. And nothing happens. And then I think I'm probably just the worst farmer in the world. No, reality is I didn't do my research, right? So here's what I did. And here's what you do. Step one, you just go to your prospector.metrolist.net. Type in a street name of where you want to farm. That's it. Step one's done. And I'm going to farm Cancion. Step two, I choose any street on Cancion. Doesn't even matter. I just choose Cancion Court. I just click it, and all I care about now is just mapping that street name. Done. Pick the street name. I've clicked the street name, and now I've mapped it. It cannot be any easier than that. Now that I've done that, I simply zoom out so I can see more of the map. I click on layers. Layers pops up. And then I click on the past 0 to 6 month sales down here, and I click on what's currently listed. It's real simple. It's that easy. And look what it showed me in Cancion. 2 homes sold in the last 0 to 6 months. 2, 3, 4 total homes sold on Cancion. That's a total of $40,000 potential income. 4 homes in the last 6 months. Now, however, if I would have just gone one street over, literally one street over, and mapped out a different little pocket, $110,000 potential income. Because in the last 6 months, 11 homes sold. And all these homes were $500,000 plus. So that's a $10,000, $12,000 paycheck, each house.
Does that mean you have better chances if their houses are selling more in one area, or you have better chances?
You want to sell where there's more turnover. Always. Here's more turnover. Here there's not a lot of turnover. So if I stayed and focused in here for 0 to 6 months, I'd come home with 40 grand. Not bad. But if I stayed and focused here for 6 months, I'd come home with almost triple that. That's the idea, is you want a return on your investment. You're going to spend time. Why waste time when you can spend the right time? You see, what's wrong with this court? What's wrong with this whole section? It's not turning over. They're not ready to sell. Most of them probably just bought a year and a half ago, 2 years. So why would they want to sell now? Right? If you don't see turnover, there is a reason. If you see a lot of CEOs and COOs start selling stock in their own company, it's probably time to jump on board and go sell your stock. Just the way it works. If you see a lot of people starting to sell, it's probably time to jump in and figure out why, and let me help you. Okay? Great question, by the way. Make sense? Very easy to follow.
So
if you need that slide, I can always send it.
Are these people like, let's say there's people selling on my street, right? Are they asking themselves like, hey, why is everybody selling? And that's why is that what kind of like plants the seed in their brain? Like, why am I not selling, or should I sell? Is that what happens? Is it kind of like a sheep?
I think it's all back and forth. One of the things that we looked at the last monthly meeting was, why are people selling? Right? And so we kind of dove into what 40% of California home sellers said why they were selling, and now we know where to target. And we also found out why 38% of buyers were buying in San Joaquin County. What was the reason? And so now we just shift our marketing to that, right? So at this month's meeting, we're also going to talk about the same thing. What's causing sellers to sell and buyers to buy? And where are they selling and where are they buying? Right? Great question, Richard.
Thank you.
So, farming for purpose, being intentional, is very critical. How do you farm? Market updates, social media, circle prospecting, send a monthly newsletter, an introduction, an announcement letter. This to me is the best one you start with. You introduce yourself to your farm area. This is what it looks like. This is the one that I've made for everybody, and it simply just says that you're introducing yourself, you're giving them your apps, 2 apps, and you look forward to being their family realtor. It's very simple. It's one of the greatest introduction letters you can send, and it establishes you as the local specialist, the family realtor. So for those that want to farm, you start here. We create this together. Very simple. All right, developing your marketing materials. So, what do you send out after that introduction letter? So I wanted to create something in 5 clicks. I thought, let me spend 20, 30 minutes making something, right? Didn't even happen. Literally took me, I'd probably say 6 minutes to create the next farming piece that would go out, and it was beyond simple. I did it through PowerPoint. This right here, PowerPoint presentation. Now this is all dribbled together, I apologize, but what it says is, Our Real Estate at a Glance by Joshua Anderson, your neighborhood specialist. All I did was I first added a photo. Done. Not hard to add a photo of anything. Step 2, all I did was add a CMA report. That took about 15 seconds. Once you do it once or twice, you're a master at it. You'll probably do it in 7 seconds. And then it mapped out each one of these homes. That was step 3. And then step 4, as I just said, are you ready to be next on our map? Call today for a free home consultation. That's it, and that's all they should see. It's very basic, very simple, easy to understand, and in 5 easy steps, I made a marketing piece that will go out. That's it. Simple, yes? What does this look like?
Success.
It looks like I sold all of that, right? Mm-hmm. But I didn't. I didn't. It's just an update of saying what sold in the community at the time. Now, the truth is, I did sell probably 75% of those, but I didn't purposely mean it to be that way. Just farmed really good and consistently for a long time with no results for a while, and eventually it started to pan out. 2 basic ways of delivering to your farm area. Walk it. If you don't have money, right, check equity, then you start with sweat equity. You just walk it. Make your farm, mail it, or just do a combination of both. When you make some money, put a little bit of back into your business and start mailing stuff. Okay, and I can help you with the mailing knowledge. It's pretty simple. You would either use every door direct mail system, or you would use the one design that you have on your back end. They make it, mail it, ship it, it's done. It's real simple. Okay? Anyone have questions on that? Tips on walking your farm? Comfortable, professional, go at effective times. Take a notepad, tablet, in case someone stops you and wants to talk to you. Be ready. Business cards, or have your agent app, which is 10 times better than a business card. Connected versus not connected, and of course have your walking farm app. It's really that simple, right? This is the steps it takes. It's easy to design. Your first introduction letter is made. It's simple to choose where to go farm at, how to do it, and it's just about doing it. So staying in line with being consistent, okay? Here's 2 separate farm areas over the last decade, okay? This is farm area in Mountain House. This is farm area in River Islands. Did my marketing really change over the last 10 years? For this piece that I'm sending out, this is what I sold personally with Treasure, and this is what we sold personally in River Islands, okay? Does this and this show consistency? Does it show colors? Does it show, what? Really the only thing added was maybe a photo. We're still using mostly the exact same thing. Consistency. If I send a map, it's going to be the same map for the last 10 years. People will know you by the map, right? There are 5 non-negotiables that every single person must have, and I told you when you send your marketing, one of the greatest things you can do is send that wow story, okay? So here's what I send when I sell a home. It says Joshua and Treasure set another record in River Islands. They listed for $649 and created a miracle. They sold the home for $688. You see, this is the 63rd home we sold at the time in that community. 63rd. That means 63 marketing pieces went out, and someone considering selling their home had to see the same branding 63 times in a row. Do you think at some point that if they call anyone, they're going to remember that? Yes, they will. And if they don't, they're going to remember the other piece that goes out, which is simple. It's just the map. 2 pieces that never change, that stays consistent like Coke throughout the years, over and over and over. Same font, but here's the thing. An owner message. I always start with an owner's message. It says, we know you and Treasure have more experience, blah, 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 so we choose you. Okay, so I start with the owner's message. Then I offer them a free consultation. Somewhere in here it says that we do free consultation. Right here, free in-home consultation. And then I tell the story, and the story's right here. It's real simple. That's the whole story. There's nothing else to tell. And then I share what our process is. How do we consistently sell homes faster and for more money? And then I name it, 5 processes. I put it all out there on this one piece of marketing in a very specific order.
So you only send out 2 pieces, a monthly letter, CMA map, and then just sold?
Yep. I don't do anything else. That's it. It's the same thing. It's now over 70 times that it goes out. And that's all there is to it. And like Jocelyn, I use the red a few different times. And my colors don't change. My colors stay the same. My map won't change. I'll just add new content every now and then. But the template is the exact same. Nothing changes. So I'm going to encourage you, if you want to use my map, use the map, because that's what you and your team has just done. Use the map. Utilize the map. Utilize the template. When you post something online, it should have the exact same template every single time, without fail, over and over and over. You have a just sold, you have a just pending, and you have a just listed. Your template should never change. People should know you 50 years later because you stuck with the same piece every single time. Make sense? If you need a template, I will send you a template. I have hundreds of them. Choose the one you want and stick to that every single time and never change from it. It now becomes your brand. But don't do what we saw earlier and just put sold and talk about whatever. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns?
I have a question.
Yes.
So you said they see 63 times over and over. Like when you're doing it just to a certain section?
Doing it to a very specific section at very specific times. So for example, let's say that you moved into a neighborhood that I'm farming and I get the report a year ago. I'm not going to send to you. Doesn't make sense to send to you right now. Let's say you moved in 5 years ago. I'm going to send to you.
Absolutely.
Now it's time. We're getting ready. There are other times where I'll know that somebody, because I pulled demographics, I might know that somebody, we're in a commuter town. And I know that reload is a very big thing, and you probably came from the Bay Area, so I might send to you at 12 months, 13 months, 14 months. It's very specific when it comes to farming. If I'm targeting a geographical area, I'm going to farm very specific homes every 30 days without fail. If I'm demographically farming, I'm just going to throw 1,500 flyers out there and see what sticks. So the reason I have the luxury, right, is because I like to farm. I like to farm. And for those that don't like to farm, you don't have to do it. We talk about many other ways that you can get business and that you could be sourcing and seasoning business. But for those that do want to farm, that's how you do it. For those that haven't branded yourself, I'm highly encouraging you to start branding yourself. Get that signature line going, number 1. Your phone's ringing, change it to a commercial immediately. It's so important, I can't tell you how important it is. And then number 3, consistency in all your marketing. Must be consistent. Melissa, if you post tomorrow that a home is sold, I need to know that it's you all the time. If there was no name on your post, I just knew it was yours because you were that consistent. Consistency is key. Who else? Question. Great question, by the way, Kevin.
My question is, if you sold a house and houses at other agencies, can you advertise that? Because it wasn't your listing, it was the other agencies.
Absolutely. Yeah. Once it's sold, it's public record, public information. Now let the neighbors know what just sold. Your neighbor just sold. If you're ready to sell, here's what I can do to make sure your home sells. See, that's the difference between saying, your neighbor sold, are you next? Okay, sure, well, I will be for someone. right? Connect with people. Let them know what you can do. What else? Going once. Going twice.
Okay, so what if you are a newer agent and you don't have a lot of transactions to show for yourself yet? I mean, that kind of.
Anyone else have questions?
Dictates.
No, I'm just kidding. Great, and I'm so glad you asked that. Here's why, okay? Let's go back to here,
I don't
okay?
have a map that looks like that.
No, you don't, but yes, you do. Here's why you do. My team and me just sold, and now you and your team are selling these. You and your team are selling these. I hope I'm a part of your team too. I really hope so. Okay? And then your photo goes in. Your information goes in. I mean, you see the template is so simple. It's just a few things to ever change and a few more things to add. That's it, a few more things to add. So we can fine-tune you. We can fine-tune your map. We can fine-tune a map for you. All we need is you saying, I found a farm area, there's lots of turnover, and I know I can do a better job for all of those home sellers because I have more tools than any of my competition, right? And so now you begin letting that community know over the next year what you can do. And now you begin making money that you probably always wanted and thought possible. And now the doors begin to open up. Yeah. Big time. What else? Other questions? Okay. So remember, if you need templates, you just say, "I need a template for sold." Mm-hmm.
I need it too.
Perfect. Send it to me in a text message today. Okay? And just say, "I need a template for sold." Don't email me. Send it to me in a text. Still catching up on a lot of emails and a lot of agents that are needing some help with very specific things. So send me a text so I can just get to that right away.
What's that other one?